Welcome to the Tri-District Membership Workshop. It is now called to order. My name is Siglinda Warren and I serve District 6600, 6630, and 6650 as your Assistant Rotary Coordinator. A little bit, this committee started to plan this event in January as an in-person workshop. And then in the words of Winston Churchill, never let a good crisis go to waste. The committee did just that. We regrouped, and here we come to you virtually. I'd like to introduce you to our Zoom co-hosts, Greg Maciolek, who comes to us from District 6780 in Tennessee, and Cheryl Warren from District 6630. Okay, Cheryl, you're on.
Thank you, PDG Siglinde. This meeting is being conducted over Zoom, as you will realize at this point. We will be recording this session, as you have heard, including the breakouts. The recording feature for participants is disabled so that no one other than the host and co-hosts may record. No recording by other means is permitted. We want to share a few tips to help you make this experience beneficial for everyone, as we have over 200 people on this Zoom meeting. Please mute your microphone during our general session to help keep background noise to a minimum. You may use the chat function for questions. During the breakouts, you will be able to unmute your microphone to share your ideas and engage with other participants. Please be mindful while in breakouts of background noise and avoid activities such as shuffling papers, barking dogs, which I always have as well. So just be mindful. Is your camera positioned properly? If not, now is the time to position your camera so we are not just looking at your nose to your forehead or your ceiling. Try to limit your distractions to help everyone stay engaged. Close your email, your apps, your games, and mute your phone, please. We do have our phones open because we are communicating with one another. So if you see Greg or me on our phones or not watching, it's because we are working. But we are totally focused on this session. At this time, many network providers are seeing massive increases in residential bandwidth use, and many users are being throttled. If you experience this, if you experience lagging or skipping, be patient. We apologize, but 99.9% of the time, it is the bandwidth with your particular network. If you have any questions, again, please use the chat, and we're so glad you're with us. Thank you, and enjoy your time with us.
Okay, let us go on. It's like, membership. We're going to see a short video called Rotary Membership Part 1. And as you're watching this video, there's understated humor that makes a point. And as you're watching, there are a couple of things we'd like you to ask yourself. Is, have any of these things ever occurred in your Rotary Club? Given that these items are over dramatized, how do you make guests feel? What can be done to mitigate these and other occurrences in Rotary meetings? Greg, please start the video.
Project last Saturday. How did you like that?
Oh, I loved it. It's so good.
Is there something I can do for you?
Oh, hi. Oh, thank you guys.
And crashing our little private party, just kidding, buddy. We have William Bilobin back.
Actually, it's Bill Ballenbeck.
Well, you know, with a name like that, you need an instruction manual. Am I right? Am I right? Yeah. Oh, and well, it says right here that Bill is an attorney. That's just what we need, right? Yeah. Another attorney telling us what to do.
Yeah, actually, I do probate law.
That's all right. Sit down, Bill. If we let this guy keep going, we'll be here all night. Am I right? Am I right?
Great. All right.
Yeah.
It was just a tiny bit, I think, cut out is where he got his food and wanted to sit with the Rotarians. There was an empty seat and somebody said, you know, called somebody else to sit there. But this video is available on YouTube if you want to use it for your, in your club. I'd like to introduce to you, I'm really excited to have Floyd Lancia and past Rotary International President Barry Rassin with us. Floyd is our director, and his term ends in 21. He was invited to join Rotary while serving as superintendent of schools in Van Buren, Maine. And while a member of the Rotary Club there, he served in various positions. With a career change and a move to Fort Wayne, Indiana, he was invited to join the Anthony Wayne Rotary Club, which is his current club. At the district level, he served in various capacity, including district governor in 09-10. At the Zone 30 level, he served as governor trainer for 3 Institute. He was a training leader at 2 international assemblies. Currently, Floyd serves on the RI Board of Directors. And he, now that our 3 zones are now a part of Zone 30, of which Floyd is. Please welcome Rotary International Director Floyd Lancia.
Thank you.
Take applaud, we can.
Thank you. Thanks for allowing me to spend a little time with you. It's good to see so many folks that I've seen and been in meetings with in the past, not only virtually, but in person. I particularly like the way Ray Krasinski goes to a meeting with a glass of red wine. Ray, you're my kind of guy. It's a pleasure for me really to introduce a good friend of mine, past RI President Barry Rassin. You know, Barry served as World President of Rotary International in the year 2018-2019. Barry was named the first fellow of the American College of Healthcare Executives in the Bahamas. He retired as president of Doctors Hospital Health System in Nassau after a stellar 38-year career where he remains as a director. In Barry's Rotary career, he served in many leadership positions before becoming RI's president. In addition to being a leader in his club and district, he served at the international level as chairman of the Rotary International Finance Committee and as Rotary International training leader and seminar trainer for training leaders. Barry is the founder of HandWash, Haiti's national water sanitation and hygiene strategy, a collaborative program to bring potable water and satisfactory sanitation to all the citizens of Haiti. Barry remains a member of the HandWash Steering Committee and will assume the role of chair of the pending US-based 501c3 HandWash Charitable Foundation. He has been recognized for his humanitarian service by many organizations, both within and out of the Bahamas. He received the Service Above Self Award from Rotary International and was presented the National Award of Health Hero by the Bahamas Ministry of Health. It's a great honor for me to introduce my friend and a person who set out to be the inspiration to all, past RI President Barry Rassin. Welcome, Barry.
Thank you, Floyd. I appreciate that introduction. It's always good to see you. And good to be here with the Tri-District membership group. And where I want to start is just to say thank you, because I want to make sure you appreciate that you have taken on the most important role in Rotary. We're at a crossroads in our organization, I believe, where we know that our membership has been stagnant for 20 years. And in reality, this year over last year, we went down by 14,000 members. Most of that was in North America. That decline in North America has been constant. And with COVID-19 and us going virtual, and it's a different atmosphere for Rotary, we're in great danger of losing more members. So your role becomes more important than ever. But the first thing I want to say is, please stop doing what we've always done, because it doesn't work. We've been doing the same thing over and over again, trying to bring in members. We talk about engagement, and I'm sure you'll have some speakers on engagement and on recruitment and on what types of clubs, and all that's important. We've got to know that. But we really have got to take a step back and take a little different view of our membership and ask ourselves, what would it take to attract members of this community to our Rotary Club? What are we doing in our club that is attractive, that's relevant to young professionals, to the recently retired, to those who should be in Rotary and aren't? And how are we going to do it? And how are we going to do it differently? We can't be doing the same old message, but we have an opportunity. I see this glass as half full, because with the virtual meetings that we're going to have, and even when we get past this, I suspect a lot of us will go hybrid. So we'll have some virtual, we'll have some in person. And by doing that, we have an opportunity. And I don't want us to miss that opportunity. We have an opportunity to attract people who normally wouldn't come to our meetings. Now, if you ask the young professionals, they don't want to go to a long lunch. They don't want to spend a whole lot of money on dues. What they want to do is do good service. They're focused on our bottom line, and they love it. They love what we do to make our world a better place. They love what you do right there in your own community to make the world a better place. But they don't want to do it the same way we've always done it. So I'm asking you to think a little different. What as a club can we do in a different way to attract a different group of people in our own communities? Because they're out there, they want to join, they want to make a difference. And when you ask the young professionals especially, they will say that they see Rotary making that difference more than anybody else. What other organization can tell prospective members that we're about to eradicate polio off the face of the earth? That we just certified another continent as polio free? What other organization could say we're in 200 countries with 1.4 million members around the world? And yes, I said 1.4 million because I'm adding Rotaract. They're now members of Rotary International, just like Rotary clubs. So why aren't we growing our Rotaract clubs? Young people love the Rotaract clubs. They really enjoy them. We could make so much more of them if we just promote for the young professional. That's a good place to start. And as you grow and learn Rotary, then you'll want to be in a Rotary club. And then we have to help with that transition. Only 4% of Rotaractors join Rotary clubs. That's us. That's our mistake. We're not attracting them. We're not being relevant to young people. If we just fix that transition, we'll grow by 100,000 members in 4 years. I guarantee it. Imagine that. All we have to do is be more relevant to our young professionals, to our Rotaractors, to those who want to do service. And to me, that's what we should be focused on. What are we doing to make our communities better? What are we doing to make our world better? And as membership chairs, you need to really be focused on that message, because we need to see a different type of membership. We need the diversity. Our board just has restructured our diversity statement just so we could remind clubs and districts around the world that we should be more diverse. As an organization in various countries, when you look at the population in Rotary, they don't represent the communities. And that's wrong. Again, that's on us. But that's something you could address. You could consciously and proactively look at your communities and ask yourselves, what group in my community is not represented in Rotary? And let's go get them in. And once you start with one or two, they're going to bring their friends in. So it's a great opportunity for us. We've got to look at this as an opportunity. We've got to see this as our future is in your hands. I think that was a Rotary International theme at some point. But it truly is. And I love that theme because every year we remind ourselves that it's in your hands. You're leaders in your communities. You're the ones who are making the difference. You're the ones who your clubs are looking up to and saying, you're going to take us into this next century. You know, we've been running for what, 116 years as an organization. We haven't changed a whole lot. We need to be thinking about, are we relevant to today? Because that's what we've got to do, is be relevant so that people flock to join us. You know, when they see what Rotary does, anybody in our community, they see Rotary in action, they say, I want to be a part of that. They hear that we're going to eradicate polio. I want to be a part of that. They hear that we did a global grant in Africa to get the kids in the schools shoes to wear because they had no shoes. I want to be a part of that. When they hear about the water that we're bringing to every single citizen of the country of Haiti, they say, I want to be a part of that, because they can see we're changing the world. So I only have a few minutes to encourage you, but I really wanted to thank you and to ask you to really think differently, but really promote what our organization does. Let's not just stick to the nuts and bolts of membership and all that. Let's talk about the bigger picture. Who are we? And how are we changing this world? And why do we need you to join us to help us change the world? That's what's going to bring them in. That's what's going to keep your members engaged, because they want to be a part of this better world that we're all making. So I thank you. I wish you all the best. And I know you're going to be successful. I've already looked at your membership numbers, and I see all 3 districts have dropped since last year. And I'm going to check next year, and I'm going to see if my membership chairs have made the difference and shown the upturn in the graph. So I wish you all the best. Good luck to you. It's been a pleasure spending a few moments with you. Thank you.
I want to thank you. And we do have some folks who have a question. If you do have an additional question, please put it on chat. While we're seeing, I want to ask, if you had a magic wand, what would you change? What change would you make within Rotary?
I would, if I had a magic wand, I would change each Rotary club to be more aware of the big picture. Too many Rotary clubs get lost in what they do every week, and they forget that they're part of this big organization that's changing the world. And I'd like to get a closer relationship between what Rotary International, the Rotary Foundation does, and what the Rotary Club does. We bring that closer, then Rotary clubs are going to be more aware of the amazing things that happen in Rotary that today they don't even know. And that will help our organization to grow.
Okay, so it would be nice to have that. Question is, when a vaccine is developed, do you see Rotary taking a major part using our protocol to distribute it? I believe they probably are referring to COVID.
Yes, there's no question. We are very fortunate. We, with our partners, are the only organization in the world that has a structure around the world to get vaccines to those who need them. And we're doing it for polio. And we've already talked at the foundation level over the years that even when polio is gone, that infrastructure needs to stay there, because we have an opportunity to help people with whatever happens. So yes, we want to use that infrastructure with the vaccine for COVID-19. It's going to be a little more difficult if it's an injection. Then we're going to need professionals. We can't all go give, like we can today, all of us can give drops to a child. And if you haven't done it, go do it, because it'll change your life. But giving an injection, I don't know about you, but I'm not going to give anybody an injection.
No.
We're going to need some professionals to do that. That being said, our infrastructure could still be used to get the vaccine where it needs to go.
And somebody did mention that past President Kennedy, his theme in 09, 010 was the one about
The future is in your hands.
future is in your hands, yes. And I think we have time for another question. Let's see, I agree that, not sure this one, it's not in the form of a question. We would like, rather than a comment. If, you know, having been president, what aspect of your Rotary presidency do you miss the most?
Ooh. Wow, that's a hard question. I just loved every minute of that 2 years I was there. And I think what I enjoyed the most was being able to shake the hand of Rotarians, look them in the eye, and hear their story, hear what they like about Rotary or what they don't like, and hear about what motivates them, hear about the amazing things that their own clubs are doing. Being out there talking to Rotarians is very special.
Another question is, what can we do to include our local school parents to attend our meetings? This is where it all begins.
Well, you know, it's all those out there. It's not only school parents. We have to go out there and talk to people. If you're in a PTA, then ask to be a speaker at a PTA meeting and talk to all the parents and just tell them what Rotary is. And we have to have that conversation in the communities. Too many of our meetings, we're talking to ourselves. A district conference, invite the public to your district conference so they can hear about what Rotary does. Some of them are going to want to join. So to me, we need to be talking more to everybody outside of Rotary and to encourage them and tell our story, because too often we don't tell our story.
Okay, great. We have a minute time for what are the tools we can implement to increase diversity? Good question.
Again, it's looking at your community and being very conscious of the different groupings in the community, whether it's ethnic or racial, or it's gender, or it's age, or it's the disabled. Look at all the different facets of your community and make sure you represent them. And we aren't representing our community. So the only way we're going to do it is if we make a conscious effort. If we wait for them to come, they'll never come, because they don't see themselves in Rotary. So why would they come? So we have to make a conscious effort to go get them in. And once that starts, it'll be a stone rolling down the mountain, and it will grow. But we have to be proactive in getting it done.
Okay. And our last questions, do you see value in visiting other Rotary Club meetings around the world through our virtual capacity?
No question. When we visit other clubs, we see what other people do. Every club is different, and you got different countries. The different countries are different again, and you can always learn something. Sometimes you learn what not to do. Sometimes you learn what to do, but you can always learn, and you learn by seeing what others are doing. So yes, it's very helpful to see what other places are doing. In my club, I go to a lot of club meetings in a lot of places, and I take anything good I learn, I take back to my club. In fact, I just learned of how a hybrid meeting works better, I think it was in Africa, than it did in my own club. So we're going to change what we're doing based on that.
Okay, thank you. And the Storm Sally, how are you in line? Going to pass
We've been amazingly fortunate this year. Sally hit us as a storm, but we just had some rain and some wind. When it passed Florida, it built up its strength. So it's going to hit Louisiana and North Florida as a Category 1 hurricane.
Okay.
We were lucky.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so very much to be with our 3 districts. We really appreciate your participation in this membership event, made possible by technology. Although somebody did suggest it would be great to have had this event in the Bahamas, but so please stay safe and well during the COVID pandemic and also during hurricane season. Thank you so very much for being with us.
Thank you. I appreciate the time.
We're following what we're going to do, a little prologue before we're going to be going to the breakouts. Bev Krzyzynski and Mike Devanzo have spent mega hours providing you with the meaningful breakout sessions. They focused on your choice. They focused on your club size. Greg and Cheryl, are you ready to send us on our magic carpet to our breakout sessions?
Cheryl, we ready?
She's muted.
Yeah, I know.
There she is.
Yes, we'll have a few that will not go into breakouts that were not pre-registered. We are going to work on placing you into rooms. So you can go ahead and then we'll have a few lag and then we'll get you into rooms. Mike Devanzo will be helping Greg with that.
Cheryl, did you tell them how long they're going to be in the rooms and everything?
Earlier we did.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
All right. See you. Bye, everybody.
Welcome back to the closing general session. Participants are to remain muted, please, unless you are presenting. When you are asked to present, you will need to unmute yourself. We are not able to unmute you. We have now started the recording, and I am now turning the meeting over to our MC, PDG Siglinde Warren.
Hello, glad you're back. Glad technology worked well for you. First of all, I'd like to recognize and thank our facilitators and hosts without whom the sessions wouldn't have been possible, and hope you all learned something. Couple of announcements, and the first one is the announcement of the Paul Harris Fellows. The first one was drawn from the registration deadline August 2nd. The second one was after September 6th. So if you registered by August 20th, you actually had 2 chances to get a Paul Harris. And Siri helped me choose. I learned that trick from Pete Apicella. So the recipients, the first one is Sandy Lang from the Rotary Club of North Canton. Sandy, please contact me with information and we'll get that all in progress for you. So congratulations, Sandy. Second one is Melanie Satterfield from the Rotary Club of Oberlin. So please contact Mike Rowland to provide you with the information. So congratulations. Are either of them here? Sandy, are you here?
I am. Thank you, Siglinde, very much.
And what about Melanie?
I'm here. Thank you.
Oh,
very
look,
exciting.
they're even next to each other. I mean, this is amazing. Yes.
Very exciting.
So congratulations. It does pay to register early.
Thank you.
One of the things we want to do is take a bit of highlights from the breakout session. And if you'd like to report from your breakout, and we'll start with keeping clubs vital, please raise your hand or use the hand icon. Is there somebody from Keeping Clubs Vital who would like to report? Okay, Sharon, please. Unmute yourself. There you go.
Okay, I unmuted myself. Well, I just asked about how we were going to report out, so I'm glad we got to go first. So we talked about being a vital club, how to keep our members engaged, current and new members engaged, and then creating opportunities for fellowship. We all, to a person, I think, decided that Rotary Club meetings have to be fun. and they have to have interesting fundraisers and some kind of significant community event, one or more. We don't think cliques are a good idea. We need to have good speakers, good programs, but really they need to be well tied into the needs of the community. We said that a few different times, and it was important to all of us that we were aware of what our community needed and that we were there to help them and make a difference in our community. So that was pretty important to our group.
Thank you. Is there another group from Keeping Clubs Vital who would like to report in or out? Josh, please.
So as Rotary clubs, we're all operating under different rules and guidelines, and we're doing those that's going to meet our specific club needs. And there's no right or wrong answers on how we individually operate. We're doing what's best for our clubs. Some are using Zoom, and they're doing breakout sessions in 3 to 4 small groups so they can still have that personal connection to have conversations. There are other clubs who are meeting outdoors while hosting Zoom at the same time to involve all members. To remain vital, we have to continuously invite people. We were all asked to come to a Rotary meeting, so we have to ask somebody to come. And we all have a lot to offer. Elyria is having a fried ice cream fundraiser on October the 18th. Other clubs are doing a peace walk. There's a liquor basket raffle being done by one of our clubs. Others are doing online auctions. They have all started doing PayPal and Venmo. And we just need to remember that we are the inspiration and that we have to continue making personal touches with all of our members, and then it will translate out to our communities.
Okay, thanks, Josh. Let's take a look at making Rotary work. Is there someone who would like to report on that? Making Rotary work. Do we have anyone?
Yes, hi. This is Sarah.
Okay, Sarah, thank you.
Yep. Hello, good evening. I am the president of the Finley Club. And in our group, we started off by talking about the areas of service, so club, community, vocational, international, and youth. And then we talked about how we can diversify specifically age within our membership through these different avenues of service. We talked about connecting with young professional organizations in our area, holding meetings in unconventional and maybe public spaces. One of our group members talked about maybe holding a meeting at the local fire station or out front of the local fire station for a breakfast meeting. Some of our participants talked about having some of their younger members bring their school-age children with them in the morning to morning meetings and making sure that those kids are welcome, that people with young families feel very welcome, and we acknowledge that those kids and families are clearly first priority. We talked about Interact and Rotaract clubs being a pipeline of members, and we need to continue to think about that and making our events, Rotary events, as family friendly as possible. We talked a little bit about some of our clubs needing to be energized, and in that conversation talked about an identity crisis that some of us might be facing with our clubs, where we have sort of the old guard that views the club as something of a checkbook club, and then new members who want to be a little bit more hands-on. Talked about the possibility of different rates or membership structures for different age groups, like a young professional membership. We talked about our fundraisers and how those might have changed. Some people doing virtual reverse raffles, virtual auctions, virtual 5Ks, drive-through chicken barbecues, and some other successful fundraisers during this time. And also talked about how we can continue to keep people engaged during this time. So if they're not attending via Zoom or in person, reaching out and making sure that they're doing okay and wondering what we can do to get them engaged. And generally across the board, we're all struggling to get new members right now. A lot of our clubs are just trying to get back on track. We are losing members. Unfortunately, not a lot of great suggestions about how we can attract new members, except to touch on what's already been said. It takes all of us individually asking somebody to come to a meeting.
And one of our presenters next week is Jen Stotts, and you will get some answers from her. There. Is there, thank you so much, Sarah. Is there another one who'd like to, another group reporting making Rotary work? Yes, don't be shy.
I think that listening in on the meeting today, the biggest thing for our group in Austintown was the advertising, reaching out and making people feel welcome. You know, we're having a meeting, but we're not advertising. We're not telling people the speaker.
So what I said is, I think we need to continue with our meetings with a hybrid. I know we're back to allowed to meet in person, but I think we also need to have technology that people can Zoom in.
I'm sorry, are we over talking each other? I think that, you know, I'm looking back on our Facebook, our Rotary Facebook page. Our last advertisement was in July. So reaching out to the community more, you know, touching base with the schools, touching base with what their needs are, working together and letting people feel welcome, letting them know that you don't have to be you know, a president of a company to be a member at Rotary, and inviting them more. So I took that away, and I'm very excited about being able to reach more people with that.
Okay, thanks, Janine. Let's go on to sharing the joy of Rotary. Is there somebody who would like to report on that one?
I can.
Okay, Mary Ann, thank you.
Yes, what you just said as far as sharing your love for Rotary and doing meaningful things to where you feel good about it. It's important that people know that you need to care about the projects that you do, and that's what keeps a lot of the members. But we need to make ourselves visible with maybe a Rotary mask, our Rotary pins. We need to share our love for Rotary, maybe have a phrase prepared should someone want to know about Rotary, but bring them along to work groups. I mean, not so much now, but if you're doing a project, invite a friend or a person that you think would make a good Rotarian without even saying anything about the fact that you might want them to join. Just, we could use some help, would you? Because once they get the feeling of doing something meaningful, then they might be more attached to want to be a part of the group. What we do within our club, there's a couple of us. I'm retired, so I have more time, but we do a project, we write an article, and we share it on Facebook. And that has drawn a lot of attention to the community. When we've done things like we had a toiletry drive for the middle school and the high school, people from the community were sending money our way without us even asking, because they knew it was a purposeful project. They wanted to help. And so we let them know what we did. We let them know what we accomplished. And we've got some prospective members right now that are aware of what we do through the Facebook. We have a Struthers Rotary Facebook page, but those of us that have the time, we promote what we're doing within our club on there, on that Facebook page. One other real quick thing is something I learned a long time ago, and we shared a lot of this through the conversation that we had. The energy that a person puts out, if you perform an act of kindness, it goes out there and it collects more of the same and brings it back to you, and it's a good feeling. They say that a hormone's released in you called serotonin, and when you have that feel-good feeling, it's rewarding. It's rewarding, and you want to do more of the same. So we try to promote that kind of atmosphere, spirit, whatever you want to call it. Show your spirit.
Thank you, Mary Ann.
You're welcome.
Mary Ann is always joyful.
Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you.
Would someone like to report on building on your momentum? No, we'll just have one person do that. Don't be shy.
I can do that.
All right, Alan, thank you.
Okay. Building on your momentum, we had a really, really good breakout session. We had our host, Paul Quaid, which, I mean, he's a legend. So he was able to help us also, but there were some really good speakers within our group here that we're able to shine some really good ideas to be able to reach out to new members and so on. And we actually even had Julietta, that is an E chapter, and she's been able to get some more members doing that. And I think Barry, in the beginning of the presentation, told us about how to, capture some of these members by doing it virtually right now, because all our meetings are virtual right now. We haven't even had a social, together. So other than being on the computer. So we're all going to be reaching out to get some more members and build that momentum a lot stronger.
Okay, thank you.
And I think, like Paul was saying, if you do a charitable helping, in the community, do a social gathering afterwards for coffee or cocktails or something as a group. That way you could still invite other people in the community to come and sharing the charity of filling backpacks for the food drives and so on, like we've done in the past. So it's fun. We bring our wives and friends and so on. So I enjoy it a lot, and I think we're going to build our membership up and keep this momentum going.
Great, thank you so much.
Thanks.
All of this was made possible by our steering committee. And Greg, would you please put that up? What a great committee it was, or still is. Many volunteer hours were contributed between January and now to make this a positive event for you, and we hope it was for you. The committee, as you see, represents 3 districts, all 3 districts. Lots of people had different jobs, and considering where we wanted to be in September in a face-to-face meeting in close to the Toledo area, but here we are, and I hope it was worthwhile for you. So great committee. Thank you so much for all the work that would put in, and we even have Greg Massiola as our Tennessean, who is actually a Michigan supporter, but we won't hold that against him. Right now, what we want to do, really short, evaluations are such an important aspect of any event in whatever format. And the changes that we made in this particular membership workshop stemmed from comments made last year. So there are 5 questions we would like you to answer. The answers are all anonymous. So may we have that first polling question? Okay. Please choose one. And after you choose your selection, click on submit. Okay, Greg, how's it? Are we ready to go on to the next one, or are the?
No, this Cheryl's running this.
Oh, Cheryl, are they still coming in, Cheryl?
Yeah, we're going to show the results after each one, Siglinde.
Okay.
They are still coming in, Siglinde.
Okay.
Almost there. Okay, we've still got a few coming in. We're at 92%.
At what percent?
92% right now.
Okay. Well, why don't we go with the, if you can put up the response.
I have to end the polling to do that. Is that what you would like?
For this question. Mm-hmm.
Okay. There you go. There are the results.
All right. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Let's go to our next question. And can we post that?
I'm working, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you know, after we use this, you think this is so easy. There's so much tech work behind it. So thank you and Greg for doing the unimaginable.
There's your second poll.
Thank you. And
Sure.
again, please select and submit. Okay, how are we doing?
We still have a little bit of, we are only at 88%.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, please close the poll and let's see what the results are. Okay. It's always good to know where others are, what more you want. Thank you. Ready for the next question?
Here's your third one.
What if you're an 8-member satellite club?
Julita, well, put it in the lower one, the first one, and the smaller one. We did not.
We know you're going to grow, Juletta.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Sig and Cheryl. Love you, ladies.
So good to see you here.
All right. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end the polling. Everybody's got their, we're close. It's not everybody, but.
Okay, but that's.
And there are the results.
Okay. Right. Okay, most of them there. Thank you. And our last question?
We have two more.
Oh, okay. I'm not counting.
Okay. Ending polling now and sharing your results.
Oh, good. Okay, and then our last one, correct?
Yes, ma'am. There's your last question.
Okay, thank you. Mike, you're doing a screenshot? Yes?
Yes, I am.
Thank you.
I think there should be a none of the above. on here? I'm not going to answer this one. I don't have one.
Okay. Or all of the above too. We can do that.
We could do that. We can change that for next. Is it getting close to filling up?
It's close.
Okay.
People are still voting.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
And there are your results.
Okay. Okay, member engagement. Great. Good to know. And we'll use that. Okay, well, thank you so much for participating in the poll. And thank you for being a part of this membership event. We look forward to seeing you. I know a lot of you will be with us on September 23rd. Stay safe, be well, and some of the answers you posted today, or you mentioned today, will be answered next Wednesday. Thank you, be safe.
Thank you.
And see you Wednesday.
Thank you.
Take care, bye-bye.
Thank you. Great.